Hello, so today we're going to be discussing aging in the workforce. I'm Kristina Someillan.
And I'm Alexis Chin.
So, first we're going to discuss and define what aging and aging in the workforce means. So, aging is the physical and psychological changes that occur throughout the stages of our lives. Aging in the workforce includes attitudes and beliefs surrounding coworkers increasing in age. Over 20% of the workforce expects to be 55 and older by the year 2015, which is roughly 50% increase from 2014. While 20% may not seem like a lot, workers are aging and accommodations need to be made by our older workers. Working in retirement. Researchers wanted to examine job satisfaction and job engagement amongst two groups that are similar in age. One group considered themselves retired while the others did not. The independent variables were components of effectiveness in the workforce, such as job challenges, learning, and supervisor support. Results indicated both groups showed an importance to supervisor support, but workers in retirement stated more emphasis on this component. This article showed through a series of questions that retired and non-retired elderly workers will succeed and perform adequately if they feel support and guided. So, the role of psycho factors in predicting job satisfaction, commitment, and engagement. Researchers hypothesize age identity and work ethic will be positively related to job satisfaction due to longevity variables. Participants completed several 4 to 5 item questionnaires involving different topics associated to job satisfaction, commitment, and engagement. Results showed receiving encouragements from supervisors and coworkers is a main factor towards positive engagement within the workforce. Researchers also showcase mixing groups while training may foster positive outlooks. Research note, career stage and job satisfaction among Southern correlational officers. Throughout the span of one's life, their psychological explorations changes within their career. This article examines different factors amongst correlational officers that can affect their job satisfaction. These factors included gender, race, supervisor support, career stage, and role strain. These were all measured among 101 officers. Results showed the first 2 and last 2 years of one's career were the most enjoyable. It also showed that one of the most important factors was support from coworkers and supervisors. This job consists of constant high-intensity situations that can affect one's mental health. Feeling supported by friends and bosses, especially when you're older, can be a benefit to one's mental health and work ethic.
All right, so now I'm going to discuss the implications of the aging workforce. Research done by Mick McCann and Sturts demonstrates the implications behind aging myths and the lack of foundation for the majority of them. For example, physical stamina and strength in older coworkers does not affect performance with age until work demands exceed physical capacity. So while the stereotype that older workers, their physical capabilities diminish, this really doesn't affect their performance until those work demands exceed their physical capacity. To combat vision impairment, older workers would benefit from controls that are well lit, clean, uncluttered, and have individual task lighting. These older employees will also need to identify specific hazards for slipping and tripping, such as specific signs that indicate tripping hazards, such as stairs or uneven work levels, or through caution tape. Older workers may perform worse on auditory tasks compared to the younger counterparts, but through accommodations that minimize noise exposure, older workers may work around their hearing impairments. Overall, the article shows that age-related changes do not always translate to poor performance within the workplace. Through suggesting solutions for older coworkers, this article highlights the need for necessary support and education for companies to accommodate their aging workforce. So to compare it to the previous literature that Kristina went through, while support through satisfaction is necessary, their physical impairments also need to be supported and accommodated. Health and productivity of older workers. Research done by Robertson and Tracy provides a critical review of previous literature regarding the health and productivity of older workers. Age-related deterioration is concerning, but the implication of agements can provide damaging conditions for older coworkers. These workers subjected to myths and stereotypes misconstrues the perceived productivity of workers and affects their relationships with coworkers. Research indicates that stereotypical attitudes are often reflected in the performance appraisals of older workers, and there is an age-related decline in earnings. Unfortunately, attitudes and stereotypes surrounding older coworkers have limited many workers to part-time, low-skill, low-pay, low-responsibility, and repetitive jobs. Research regarding sensory function, motor function, and cardiorespiratory function nearly matches the previous article's review, where the impairments related to the increased age may be combated through various accommodations. This article also highlights the cognitive competence of workers that does differ from their younger counterparts, but the cognitive losses that tend to be attributed to age largely occur among those who suffer cardiovascular illness or who endure impoverished social-cultural surroundings regardless of their age. So these myths that once you become older, not only does your physical stamina and endurance decrease, your mental stamina decreases, it's actually found through research that these impairments are more so linked to illness rather than just age. Changes in intellectual function among aging coworkers are actually minimal for healthy workers who have obtained high levels of education and who are exposed to appropriate stimulation by their surroundings. So engaging in a stimulating and challenging work culture will help these older coworkers remain engaged in their work and increase their productivity. While people think older people suffer from deteriorated memory and learning function, the changes in learning and memory are actually related to motivation level, attention, perception, health status, and the learning context itself than to some age-related incapacity to learn new skills. In regards to productivity, older workers tend to be undersupported, which we can see in all the previous articles that we've reviewed thus far. Older workers can have equal productivity to other workers under the recommendation that support for the older worker should always be combined with efforts in the workplace to adapt physical working conditions to suit the worker, especially in ergonomics, and appropriate psychosocial action. Based on the previous literature, satisfaction and performance of older workers are mainly affected by their working environment, relationships within their coworkers and their employers, and through aging stereotypes and myths. Therefore, older workers would be just as satisfied along their younger peers if they feel supported and have the appropriate accommodations within their working environment. And that is all we have for this presentation.